I recently attended this really cool conference in Las Vegas called the Forward Event, and I got to hear from an individual called Ed Mylett. He spoke to us for about an hour, and it was the most inspiring hour of my entire life. I personally had never even heard of this guy before he spoke, but I have to say, out of everyone that spoke, Ed Mylett really inspired me the most. And so I want to share some of the things that I got to learn from him, and then I want to take a page out of his book and share some of myself with you guys today, because that was his challenge to all of us. Real quick about Ed Mylett. If you've never heard of this guy, I was surprised I've never heard of him. He's apparently the fastest growing business personality in the history of social media. Holy shit, right? He's got an amazing book. I bought it, but I haven't actually read it. It's called The Power of One More. He was an incredible storyteller. Like, he painted this amazing picture where you're literally crying one minute and laughing the next. Like, his on-stage presence is something that I can't even put into words. So if you ever get an opportunity to see Ed Mylett live, take it. Don't even think twice about how much money it's going to cost you to go see him. It's worth every penny. One of the very first things when he came up on stage is he said, "You are one good decision away from changing your life." And if you think about that phrase, and if you really dive deep into your life and think about the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis and the decisions that you've made to lead up to where you are and who you are today, you know, deep down, we all know we're one decision away from changing our entire life. And so he told this amazing story, which was just absolutely heartbreaking / beautiful, of his father who was an alcoholic most of his life. He said he knew when his dad was drunk, he was a bad guy. Even as a young kid, he was able to read people really well. And so he could tell just by how the key entered the lock in the door if his dad was drunk or not. And so he talks about this power of one more. He said one day he was with his dad, and his dad started crying. He said he'd never seen his dad cry in his entire life. His dad told him, he said, "Son, I'm going to go ahead and get sober." And apparently he had tried to get sober a few times before, and it obviously, didn't work. And so Ed told his dad, he said, "Look, Dad, well, what's going to change? What's going to be different this time?" And he's like, "I don't know, but I have to do it." And he's like, "Can you promise me you'll never drink again?" He said, "No, I can't promise you that, but I promise you I won't drink tomorrow. I'll try it for one more day." And his dad stayed sober one more day, every single day, till the day that he died, which is pretty cool. As that one decision changed his entire life. And he went on to tell so many amazing stories of how his dad was just this powerful influence to him. And once he became sober, like, he was this loving parent, and how he helped so many other people. That was what was really cool. So after he tells this whole story, his father ended up passing away. It was a tough story. The amount of people that his dad was able to touch in his lifetime, he helped other people get sober. He helped other people fight through their lives. And if you think about that trickle effect, isn't that what life is all about? We take what we learn and we pass it on to others, and we be an influence in a positive way to others. And that is what Ed did for me. I'd never even heard of this guy before, and he inspired me so much. And I wrote something down. He said, "Help others where you have failed." And that was kind of interesting to hear at first. I'm like, well, but if you failed at it, why would you share that with others? You got to think about that. You failed at it at one point in your life, but then you turn that into a defining moment. Not many people know this, but at one point in my life, I was straight up homeless. In my 20s, I had a bad situation with some roommates, with a house that I was renting, one of those no paperwork sort of things. And I got to the point where I was straight up living out of my truck. I would shower at the gym in the morning and go to work at the bank, go back and sleep in my truck. It was a 1997 Toyota Tacoma, and I had to do that for a few weeks. During that time, it really helped me reflect on where I wanted my life to go. And it's funny that I ended up in a place that teaches people about home ownership when I, at one point in my life, was homeless. And so I really thought strong on you have to help others where you have failed. I had failed at becoming a homeowner. I didn't even have a place to rent. And now I teach home ownership. I did purchase my very first home right after that. In less than a year from being homeless, I bought my very first house. It was a new construction home. It was my very own. I was very happy to purchase it. I decided that I wanted to change who I was. And this is why I'm so passionate about home ownership, because I've done it myself. And I'm not anything special. If I can go from homeless to purchasing a home, to purchasing my next home, to purchasing investment properties, to making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, you can do it too. Everything that I preach here, I don't ask people to do anything that I myself have not done. I have so many great stories that I love to share, but Ed Mylett really just, he shared so much of himself, and that's why I wanted to, just take a page out of his playbook and share it with you guys today. This is why I share the videos that I do. This is why I like to have the fun that I do, because life is about fun. It's about having a good time. I'm here in my bar, I'm having a good time, and I'm sharing the information that I learned. I took a day out of my life to go learn from this, from all kinds of different people, but Ed specifically, I learned so much. I wrote a lot of little nuggets, but he talked about, human beings help others, and you may not even know. So I hope that's the case, and I hope that that's the case for you. So if you're watching this, you are helping people in your life, the people that you surround yourself, whether you know it or not. And the information and your unique experience that you've had in life is going to be valuable and important to someone else. Maybe not on a level that Ed Mylett is, right? I mean, this guy is a multi-billionaire. He bought a fucking island, right? Like, look this guy up. His net worth is insane. If I could inspire that many people, that would be a dream come true to me. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have now. So I'm sharing it here on my little camera in my basement with you on YouTube right now. One of the other things that Ed talked about, which really struck with me, and it's something that I've tried to live my life by, is that you always want to focus on the future and not the past. I had an analogy that was given to me. This is nothing to do with Ed Mylett. I don't even know where I heard this from. I like to compare things with, stuff that's going on in my life. So I like cars. I like to drive. One thing you always think about when you're driving, you're always looking forward, right? You have a rear view mirror. You need to glance at it and check out what's behind you in order to make the correct steps to move forward. And you stared at your rear view mirror the entire time. Eventually, you're going to rear end someone, you're going to hit someone, and you're going to crash. You have to take that idea and use it in your daily life. If you can move forward, if you're constantly focused on the future and not staring in that rear view mirror every single day, that is how you succeed in life. It's still there. You got to glance at it. You got to take a look at that rear view mirror every once in a while so that you know where you're going. But if you can focus on the future and put all of your energy into that, that is when you become successful. That is when you reach your destination, whatever that is for you. So to me, this was something that was just super impactful and super powerful. I try to live my life that way, constantly moving forward, learn from the past. Ultimately, we're constantly moving forward. I hope this message was impactful, powerful, helpful to anybody that may have needed it. And I hope that you take that information and continue to pass it along. So I appreciate you watching my episode today. And you guys have a great rest of the day.